What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout spot where you already know. Let's try that again. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout spot where you already know. It's real talk, boxing talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and I am your host for another edition of the Hangout Spot Live. This time, a special Wednesday edition. As you guys know, we usually go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I felt it was fitting to add another show this week because I have a very, very special guest. A young fighter who I admire very, very much. But before we bring him in, I just want to let everybody know that if you rocked out yesterday, I appreciate you rocking out with me on the live. And if you did watch the recording, I appreciate you as well. Yesterday we had 140-pound junior welterweight sensation Ernesto Tito Mercado. He was on, and it was a hell of an interview, man. I mean, Tito is a bright young star on the rise, and he had a lot to say, man. We had a good time chopping it up. He was calling out fighters. I mean, if you have not seen the interview, make sure you check it out at the Hangout spot. It is there waiting for you. And you know the deal. Before we bring in our guests, we got ground rules here, man. If you're watching this live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. The goal is to get this channel in the algorithm of other boxing fans so that they know that we rock out every Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have not subscribed to the Hangout Spot, make sure you do that. More importantly, tell a friend to tell a friend. In 2025, we are trying to grow this thing to epic proportions, and we can't do that without more passengers on this train. And last but not least, you know the deal. The chat is open, so I definitely want you to get involved. But without further ado, I just want to bring in my guest. Like I said, I admire this bright young fighter. He's young, he's talented, he packs a big punch, and literally, I can say that if his career reaches the potential that I believe it's going to reach, I was definitely a day one. I've seen him from his first pro fight. I was actually there working media at the Caribbean Royale when he made his professional debut last year, and he did it with a bang with a first round knockout. He is a middleweight. He's 3-0 right now with 3 knockouts. I believe he was born in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. That's why I thought it was fitting to bring out the Puerto Rican gear today. But he was raised in Ridgewood, New York, Ridgewood, Queens, which is about walking distance from where I grew up at in Birchwick, Brooklyn. So after his first pro fight, we had a nice conversation. I actually did a quick interview and spoke to him, and he was extremely, extremely nice to me, excited about his victory, and I think his future's bright. So without further ado, I want to bring in middleweight prospect, my man, Alexis Chop Chaparro. My brother, welcome to the Hangout spot, man.
Hey, Johnny, thank you for having me. How's everything? Good?
Everything is good, man. Everything is good, man. I've been dying to get you on, man, because I've been rocking with you since day one, man.
You were my first professional, professional boxer, since I turned professional interview. You were the first person to interview me.
No shit. Yeah. You know what? That's what's up. I literally
remember that like, too.
Right when you got to the back.
Right that was literally right after I got out the ring.
Right. Listen, I had to take that opportunity because we spoke a little bit before you got in there, and it was an epic night. You win your pro debut. I mean, how many people can say they win their pro debut by first round knockout? Explosive. The crowd came out for you, and then when I saw you backstage, man, I just saw that excitement, man. I finally got this one out of the way, man. But what were your feelings after that first one, man?
I mean, it was a dream come true, really, in reality, because I had a hand surgery that caused me to be out of boxing for 3.5 years.
Okay.
So I hurt my hand in 2019, right before 6 weeks before the Olympic trials, because the Olympic trials were coming up, and I hurt my hand. But I still fought in the Olympic trials. I didn't win, of course. I lost, and I had surgery right away, and it caused me not to be able to box for 3.5 years. So my always plan was to turn professional, turn pro, and that was delayed because of the surgery. And so when I finally got that fight in, it was like, oh man, this is a dream come true. 3.5 years out, and I'm back. So,
wow, I did not know that. I mean, we didn't talk about that, but that's the life of a professional fighter. I mean, injuries like that happen, and it's a shame that it happened so early, in your boxing career. So it kind of stalled it a bit, but I think you can agree when I say that I believe it was worth the wait.
Yeah, right? It was because also from me being 3.5 years out, I went to the Olympic trials again. I redid the Olympic trials from 2019. I competed again in 2023 in the Olympic trials. But before that, in the qualifier, I lost in the semifinals of the Olympic trial, I think, something like that. But before that, the qualifiers, that was my first tournament back in 3.5 years. That was like my first fight and everything. I got 3 knockouts out there in the tournament too. So
it enabled you to get some extra work.
yeah. I mean, straight 3.5 years out, straight back into the amateurs. Then just starting with knocking people out off the rip. So it was.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And for my viewers, man, if you guys are not aware, and if you have not been put on to my man Chaparro, man, he's a beast, man. You know, he's a beast. And I knew after that first performance that there was something special in you, because it wasn't just what you did in the ring, but some of the things that we spoke about afterwards, like your mental fortitude, like you know what you want, and you know from our conversation that you're gonna work your tail off to get there. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I respected about you. I've actually worked media for 2 out of your 3 fights, and I'm mad that I wasn't there for your last one in Puerto Rico, man.
Yeah.
Because that one was lit. You got an opportunity to go back home. So you, like I told my viewers, you were born in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, correct?
No. I was born in Ridgewood, raised in Ridgewood. That interview we had together, I was so excited. I accidentally said I was born there. I meant to say my father was born there.
Oh, that's what it was, because you told me in the interview.
So I'm gonna explain it. My girlfriend comes when you posted the interview. My girlfriend watched it and she was like, "Why did you say you were born in Puerto Rico?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I never said that." And she was like, "Yes, you did." I said, "No, I didn't." And she found the interview and said that I said it. And I was like, "Oh," I think I got so excited that it was just like, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Ridgewood, but my father was born in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. I have family who still lives in Aguadilla, and I went as a child to Aguadilla, Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. So you see what I'm saying? That excitement that you showed backstage.
I was so excited. I was saying things, and I was like, "Oh man, I got to clear this up someday before someone comes around and say I'm a liar and I'm trying to use it for publicity." And I'm like, "No, it's not. That's definitely not my style."
Nah, that's not Chop Chop, man. I know Chop Chop. That's definitely not you. But like I said, you were so excited, so it makes sense. But I remember you telling me Aguadilla, and then we spoke specifically about you being raised in Ridgewood, because literally I'm walking distance. I grew up in Bushwick.
Yeah.
So, and I think for my viewers, one of the things that I told Chop Chop was, growing up, I used to go to Ridgewood Theater. That's where
Blink Fitness now.
What is it now?
Blink Fitness.
Damn, bro, I'm old, man.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, it was always closed for me. It was always abandoned. We used to try to sneak in. We used to sneak in through the back. And it was just like ashes. And
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of shit went.
I know people died in there. It was
yes. But when I was growing up, it wasn't as bad as it was before it closed. That was the Hangouts, but that was the only. Other than that, and the Commodore, which was that was oh god, I forget where, like closer to Greenpoint or whatever. But Ridgewood was a spot. So when we wanted to, go with girls and stuff like that and hang out, that's where we went.
Yeah.
So when you told me it was gone, I was like, damn, I'm old.
Yeah, no, I remember as a kid, we used to sneak in. We used to try to sneak in, because once in a while they would leave it open. I don't know if they were trying to do like renovations on it for so many things. We used to go in and it was abandoned, like super abandoned. It was dark. Like we used to just go in there and put a little flashlight from the phone, and that was it.
That's crazy, like the Goonies, right?
Just doing dumb stuff for no reason. That's it.
That's what we did growing up, man. That's what we did. But so you were born in or you were born in Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn?
Brooklyn Hospital, wherever Brooklyn Hospital.
Everybody's
born in Brooklyn Hospital.
I was actually born in Wyckoff.
You was born in Wyckoff?
I was born in Wyckoff.
Man. That's very close to me. That's in written, it's right there.
Yeah, literally, it's right there. And but like I said, I ran the streets of Bushwick, so it was cool to have that conversation with you.
Yeah.
Taking it way back. But man, it must have felt good, like I said, to go back to your roots, right? Your dad must have been extremely proud, seeing
my family was very excited Family was
Yeah,
very excited. My family, it meant a lot to my family for me to be back on the island. You know, not only representing myself, but us as a culture. You know, Puerto Rican people in general. So
absolutely.
I hope they embrace me. You know, there's a thing. You know, New Yorican. But I hope they embrace me and take me in as one of their own. So that's my goal.
Listen, as the public, as the fight fans start to know who Chop Chop Chaparro is, there's no doubt in my mind they're not going to, man. You're very, very humble. You know, you're a God fearing person.
Mm.
I follow you. You know what I'm saying? We chop it up all the time. I think you're a great young man. And you got, because of your demeanor and the way you fight, you got stardom written all over you. You just gotta stay focused. You know the deal, right? It's a progression. We spoke about that a little bit
Mm.
on during after your first fight, and you're in good hands, man. I mean, coach, you're with which coach, Mad Mike, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mad Mike, you got
Mike
Canito, right?
Jones, Canito, I got Canito. Yeah,
Canito in your corner. I get a chance to meet them, chop it up. Me and Mike just hit it off right from the get go.
yeah.
He's a real one, so make sure you
Yeah,
give
he's
him
a
my best.
I call him my uncle.
Uncle.
Call him Uncle Mike. That's it, Uncle Mike.
Man, we dapped it up and we talked like if we knew each other for 20 years.
Yeah, he's one of those kinds of dudes. He's a real good, solid dude.
Absolutely, man. You're in great hands with them. Obviously, you're managed by the great Amanda Serrano. That's incredible,
The
right
greatest.
then and there. I mean, how many young fighters can say that they are managed by possibly one of the best female fighters that ever lived?
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? So I knew Amanda my whole life, though. That's what's crazy. So
That's what
it was like regular for me to see her. Like when I first started, I started boxing when I was 8 years old. I'm 24 now, so 16 years. My first day in the gym, Amanda was there. You know, to see where she's at now is like amazing, like amazing. But it was always like, oh snap, Amanda. Then people was like, oh, that's Amanda. And I'm like, yeah, it's Amanda. Like, because I'm
you're like,
so
it's just Amanda
I
to
was
you.
a kid. I was a kid seeing her. So to see where she's at now is amazing. And that she came back and took me along, that's even greater.
That's what I'm talking about. Like I wanted to get a little bit into that relationship, but first and foremost, I wanted to kind of get your take on how it was to go back, to your roots and stuff like that. That night, I mean, you didn't impress. I mean, you impressed. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't disappoint anybody. Just to give my viewers a perspective, three pro fights, um, 3 wins, 3 knockouts, and none of those opponents have went past the second round with my boy Chop Chop. His first fight was a first round knockout. The second one was a second round knockout. I was actually there on Tampa. That was during the Jake Paul and Mike Perry undercard. That crowd was electric. Again, these are the type of platforms that you've been on early, that are going to really, really help progress your popularity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so they're doing. That's why I say that you're in good hands. And then obviously in Puerto Rico, first round knockout by TKO. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about where the journey started. But you said this. So you said you've been boxing since 8 years old.
Well, I was introduced to the sport before I was born. Like I was introduced to the sport when I was first born. There's a picture of me as a child, and my father had a pair of black. I have to look for it. It's a pair of black gloves near me, like as a child. My mother holding me, and my father like coming over her shoulder with 2 pair of black gloves, like two like maybe 16-ounce strap on black gloves. So my father was an amateur boxer up until 2006. Unfortunately, some things happened. My father couldn't be around at the time, so he was away for about 10 years. So from when I turned, but I was introduced to it at 5 because me and him he used to put the gloves on me. We used to play around. And then when I turned 8, I said, oh, I want to be like my dad one day. And my mother was like, what? And I was like, I want to be like my dad. I want to go to a boxing gym. And then she took me, and it started from there. That's when it started.
Wow, that's crazy because that's a typical Spanish father, right? Puerto Rican
Yeah,
father with his
yeah,
son. Because I remember when I was young, 5 years old, my dad took a picture with me with 2 boxing gloves on and a pair of shorts. And that's what he wanted me to be, I guess. At that point, I was into
Everybody
baseball.
wanted the next Tito Trinidad, right?
Everybody wanted the next Tito Trinidad. Yeah, if I could do it all over again, I love boxing, man. I would definitely take a stab at it. But I'm too old. I'm better behind the microphone interviewing all these up and coming young stars. And shout out to you again. I am here with middleweight prospect Alexis Chop Chop Chaparro, who's 3-0 with 3 knockouts. But so then you go through the amateurs, right? Was Amanda there with you every step of the way? Like, did you know um, early on that she was going to manage you, or is this something that just progressed?
No, no,
Or how did that come about?
I had no idea. Remember, Amanda was making peanuts in her whole career. Remember, Amanda was super underpaid. That's what they were paying women at the time. Amanda was fighting for a world title for $2,000, $3,000. I was there for her first world title fight when she won. It was in the Aviator Theater. I was there. She won, but nobody ever thought she would be where she's at today. Like with the help of Jake Paul, of course, I guess the only one who's seen it must have been Jordan, of course, her manager, brother-in-law, and her sister. Because nobody thought a woman was gonna do what they're doing right now. I didn't, of course, making millions of dollars. I think she made like 7 million this last fight, her and Katie together. It's amazing to see what a woman from Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York can do. And not only that is that she came back and came for the people that grew up around her. Because she could have been like, yeah, you're a great fighter, but I'll go sign a kid from Ukraine or something. But she was like, no, I want to give you an opportunity. And I had the amateur credentials too. So it was
incredible story. A couple of things that I want to touch on. You're right. Nobody really saw what's popping in women's boxing today. So just so you know, last week, or I believe it was the week before that, I had Christy Martin on as a guest.
Yeah.
And obviously she was one of the original trailblazers back in the 90s, fighting on, Mike Tyson undercards and Don King.
Yeah. She started it all.
Yeah, she was one of the pioneers. So we spoke about that, and we spoke about the progression of women's boxing to where it is today. Because let me tell you something, not just from a fame perspective, but the women's they get it on, man. Like they're not afraid to put it on the line. They unify titles. I mean, Amanda's done it in how many different 7 weight classes? I mean,
7 weight classes.
7 weight classes.
She's undisputed too. I think at 126.
Yes. She's undisputed at 126, but she's not afraid of the smoke, man.
Oh.
So listen, I just want to give, I know this is all about you, but I want to give Amanda a shout out for real. Like I said, I mean, Bushwick, we are so proud, to have someone of her stature represent, the borough, represent Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's a big figure in the island, and she's doing it up. And like I said, I think that bringing you aboard was one of the best things she ever did. She's got a good young stable of fighters, man. I mean, I don't want to skip ahead, but I mean, we got John Paul Rivera, my guy as well. Yeah. Undefeated featherweight, 11-0. Crystal Rosado, who's an up and coming, bantamweight.
She's 100% going to be a world champ, Crystal.
Oh, she's a beast, man. She's she's
John Paul too. John Paul too.
Yeah,
they're both amazing fighters.
Chop, all 3 of you guys. Man. I see world title, all 3 of you guys. I tell you that, and you're like, we'll see. You hit the prayer.
God willing, let the Lord's will.
That's who you are.
That's it.
That's who you are. But I'm telling you, I know boxing, man. She's got future world champions there, and that's an impressive stable, man. I'm hoping to get John Paul and Crystal on here as well. But I got to brush up on my Spanish, man. That's the only reason why I haven't got them on. My Spanish is not good. I speak.
I'm working on it. I got a lot more to learn.
I speak Bushwick Spanglish.
Bushwick Spanglish.
New Yorican Spanglish, man. Yeah. So I got to brush up on that. Once I do, though, I got to get them both on because, like I said, all 3 of you guys are my favorite, some of my favorite fighters in boxing today. And shout out to Amanda for seeing that potential and signing you. So she signed you like after you took, it was right before you turned pro, though, right?
So I finished the Olympic trials and I was weighing on my options, figuring out. I was speaking with Mike and I was like, look, what are we going to do? Are we going to do our own thing? Because I was thinking about, I had other deals on the table, but I was just like, why not do my own thing? I have everything to do on my own. I could just do it myself. And we were discussing about that. And then Amanda called and was like, well, I want to sign you. And I was just like, okay, no, 100%. Like everything was second to me. I was just like, no, of course I'm going to go with Amanda. She's with Jake. What bigger platform can I go on?
Smart decision, man.
I said, what bigger platform can I go on other than Amanda and Jake? I said, there's no bigger platform right now. There's none.
We're gonna get into that in a second because
Yeah.
man, I mean, there's the numbers that that Jake's putting up, whether people like him or not, man. You got to respect his business
Whether you like
acumen
him or not,
and what he's doing for the sport of boxing. Because
for the sport of boxing, what should have been done a long time ago.
yeah, absolutely, I think he's good for the sport of boxing. I said that before because anytime that you have someone that is putting more eyes on the sport and helping the sport grow, they're good for boxing.
And I always wanted to work with Jake. That's what's funny too. I remember before when I was getting ready to come back into boxing, me and Mike were talking. Right when they first signed Amanda, everybody was like confused, like, why would you sign with Jake? Why would you sign with Jake? And I was just like, no, that's a smart thing. And I told Mike, I said, I want to sign with Jake. He goes, yeah. And I said, I want to sign with Jake. And then when that came and Amanda was like, I want to sign you and I want to bring you to MVP, I was like, I can't turn this down. There's no way I could turn this down. This is what I asked for. So
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Shout out to you and the chat, man. The chat's coming out. Empowering Mentality Podcast. Thanks for rocking out with us, Chop Chop. We have Chop Chaparro in the building. My guy, I've been trying to get him on for quite some time.
yeah,
We finally made it happen. My brothers at Four Corners Boxing. That's my boxing family. They are in the building. X, I appreciate you. That's right. If you have not smashed that like button, make sure you smash that like button. More importantly, subscribe to the channel. My brother Eddie Alvarez is in the building. Shout out to you, champ. Salute and salute to Chop Chop. Listen, man, we got my people, man. Real people do real things, man. And that's for the real deal, Serrano. I could not agree with you more, X. At Four Corners Boxing, we got my man Bang Bang Boogie, Johnny Chop, Chat Familia. That's right. Anybody who comes to the hangout spot is family. So Chop is family. My viewers and my chat members and all my followers, they are family.
We can't call them fans. We can't call them fans. We got to call them family. Because fan means fanatic.
Right.
My family is my supporters, you know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you already know the deal. I ain't even got to tell you. You family. Yeah. You're welcome back anytime. But
and a couple people have been asking me for interviews too. But I'm so private with everything that I do. Like I don't run my social media. My girlfriend runs my social media.
Okay.
I don't like social media. I'm very private, but I know this is what I need to do to hit that. So I said, if I'm going to do my first interview and a sit down like this, I'm going to do it with my boy Johnny.
Wow.
I'm going to start off where I started off with. That's it. I'm going to start where I started off with, and we're going to work our way up from there.
Listen, we're both working up the ranks.
I'm so private with my life. Like, I don't call people out. Give them to me. I'll handle business. I don't trash talk. I've never been that kid. I've never been that way. My family always taught me, like, growing up, you know, what Denzel said, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one. So I've always just sat back, minding my business and watched and perform when I need to. That's it.
Nah, you are definitely humble, but you grew up in a neighborhood, in an area where mostly everybody wasn't. Like I grew up, you had to be quick with it. You know, a lot of us were very competitive. We talked a lot of trash to each other. So I grew up in that ambiance.
I think where it came from was I grew up around people like that. And I noticed when people asked for something and it happened, they didn't want that. It's like, oh, I want to fight this. And then it comes and then you're like, you wasn't ready. Or I'll do this to this person. I'll do this and that. And you wasn't ready because the opportunity came and you weren't ready. So it was always, I'm never going to overstep my boundary. I'm never gonna, because I've seen it so many times. You know, the toughest man on the block who acts that isn't the toughest man on the block, because the toughest man on the block ain't on the block.
Listen, man, you speaking facts, man. You're speaking facts. You are definitely right, and I'm not surprised that you say that because I had a little bit of a back and forth conversation with Coach Eric Roman.
Okay, Eric, that's my man.
Coach ER, all right. Shout out to Coach ER. And Bushwick Boxing, which I made a promise to him when I come back home to visit. I got to come and check out the gym, and we got to do something.
I trained there.
Yeah. Well, he told me he's known you since you were a kid.
We're all there.
Yep. He told me that you were there. He knows you since you were a kid. He told me everything you're telling me is what he told me. He said you're a great young man, and he also told me that you get it from your mom.
Yeah, my mother. my mother's taught me so much. You know what I mean? I can't give anybody more credit than my mother. You know,
he said that you guys are very, very close.
You know, she raised me. Even when my father couldn't be around, she made sure I had a relationship with him. She made it all happen. My mother made it all happen. That's what I said. Without my mother, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Absolutely. And without my father as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure, man. That's what he told me. He was like, listen, he's got a special relationship with his mom, and you know, she deserves a lot of credit, you know, for who Chop Chop has become so far as a man, as a person, as a fighter. So shout out to your mom, man.
Yeah, shout out to
absolutely. Shout out to your mom, man. Shout out to Coach ER, man. Bushwick Boxing is in the building, man. I'm gonna get him on one day too, man. We're gonna chop it up, man. We definitely gonna chop it up. But so tell me, now that you're a professional, 3 fights in, what would you say is the biggest difference from being a professional to being, you know, from being an amateur to a professional? And I know the skill level is different, but what else? What is different? How's your life adjusted from amateurs to pro?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, I'm not doing anything too different. I mean, I'm sparring more rounds now because the rounds are getting longer, of course, and you know, but one thing Mike's always taught me was to sit down on punches, to always plant. Nothing's really changed really too much. I mean, if anything changes, that me and Mike's relationship got better. 1, the trust in my team, 2's gotten way better. And I don't know, maybe people look at me a little differently sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's, you know, but I'm just I carry myself regular, so I don't know how to explain it. Nothing's really changed much, man. I'm taking every fight one fight at a time, you know.
Nah, that's what's up.
Let
That's
everything play out.
I thought maybe diet or workout regimen or
But diet. But no, me and Mike, we've always had a intense strength and conditioning. I've been with Mike now. I've been training with Mike for maybe 2 years now, a little over 2 years since I came back to boxing. And everything's been the same with me and him. The strategy is the same. We don't train for anybody. We train to fight everybody. We don't train for one person. We train for different scenarios. So, and our strength and conditioning is insane. I don't allow people to record our strength and conditioning. So that's off the maps. That's where I get my strength from, you know, Mike himself. Mad Mike.
Mad Mike, my brother.
To the madness.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. We got my man Wax in the building, man. Looking forward to seeing more of Chop Chop. Absolutely. I know Wax has actually been to a couple of fights at Caribbean Royale, so I'm sure he's probably seen at
Hopefully
least
I'm back there soon. I have family in Kissimmee. Half my family lives in Kissimmee, so it's right there.
Well, that's my second home, so you know you there, I'm there. That's what's up, man. Empowering Mentality Podcast. You're invited to my podcast anytime, Johnny. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. We got to definitely set something up, man. I do not mind crossing platforms, man, and building partnerships. That's what it's all about. Chop, who were your favorite fighters growing up? That's actually one of my questions. Bang Bang Boogie for later on. But go ahead, Chop.
You know
what's stab at it, man.
I can go the typical route and say, since I'm Puerto Rican, Trinidad, and you know, of course, I love those fighters. They're some of my greatest fighters. You know who I was a big fan of growing up? And a lot of people wouldn't believe it because the way I carry myself. Adrian Broner. I really liked Adrian Broner.
So that's shocking.
Remember, there was a time where Adrian Broner was really...
He was a beast.
He was a problem, you know? So that was a real big fan of me. And I mean, I was a real big fan of him at one point. And but my favorite fighter, like fighters growing up, was Floyd, of course. Terrence Crawford, you know, doing amazing things. But I think one of my favorite fighters is it's hard to pick one fighter.
Same here, man.
I love Alexis Arguello. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time.
And you are tall like him.
Alexis, I like Tommy Hearns.
Another tall fighter.
But I think if I had to pick one fighter, Alexis Arguello.
That's what's up, man.
Because he was always composed. 15 round. Even if he was getting his butt whooped, he was calm. When he hit you, He was in the situ. So
I like it, man. Again, a man that knows his old school
and my
boxing.
first name's Alexis too, right? So
There you go. There you go,
yeah,
man. Chop Chop Chaparro was the inspiration in starting my podcast. Wow. There you go, brother.
yeah, man. Wow.
You know, you got some fans out there. Yo,
Oh,
check
man.
this out, man. We even got my boy, my brother,
Yo,
my mentor, Nestor Gibbs from the Boxing Voice is in the building. He's visiting the Hangout spot.
boxing voice.
Champ, I owe you a lot, man. Thanks for rocking out, man, and showing that support, man. I appreciate you. We're here with middleweight prospect, undefeated, Alexis Chop Chop Chaparro, man. You even brought the Boxing Voice out, bro.
Oh
You know
man,
what I mean?
I got, I
That's
got,
what
I
don't come
gotta
out for
sit down with
anybody.
him too. I never got back to him, man. I never got back to him.
You got to get
I
on.
have to. I have to. I've never got. You know what it was? I don't be on social media. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't. My girlfriend's like, this person messaged you, this person. I'm like, oh, I gotta check it out. I gotta look at it because I'm barely on.
So she sees when I DM you, she sees those DMs first,
and she tells me, and then she doesn't open anything. She'll just call
Gotcha.
me and yo, check your phone. Oh, okay, I got you. You know, I got your number now, though. I'm gonna stay in touch with you. I have your number.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely we'll talk about your future in a second, but yeah, man, you got the chat coming out for you. There are some questions that I do want to wait for. So we'll get some chat questions in just a little bit. It's funny. I just want to touch on something that you said right now. Yeah, you liking Broner is definitely
Yeah,
not
and
I
we don't fight
expected.
similar. We don't fight similar at all. I used to like try to like fight close like that. I used to really well, I still can. I haven't had the opportunity to show certain things yet. You know,
Right.
everybody who knows me knows my high. I have a really high IQ. You know,
Mhm.
and I can do more than just punch. But I don't have to show anything more. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing
Yeah,
until
no,
the opportunity presents itself. So
you'll get that work in, man.
yeah. Eventually down the line,
Yeah,
or next fight, who knows?
the competition will start to stiffen up, and then
Yeah,
obviously you have
yeah,
to show more of your repertoire.
Mhm.
And that's what I look forward to the most. But the reason why I wanted to touch back on Broner is because my wife will tell you it's weird. He's one of my favorites too, and a lot of people hate.
yeah.
But I feel like you need guys like
Yeah,
Adrian
you
Broner in
do,
boxing.
you do.
Show your personality,
When
talk
he
that
lost to
trash.
Maidana, I cried.
Did you?
I didn't cry fully, but a little tears started coming down my eyes. How old was I? I was probably in 6th grade when he lost to Maidana.
Wow.
I was
Yeah,
probably in 6th grade.
we taking it a little way back,
I was
but
the can man. Anybody can get it.
Mexican, Mexican. Yep. No, I like those
Yeah,
brass guys in boxing, and like you said, in the lower weight classes, nobody was
yeah.
Broner back in the
My
days.
favorite fighters in the lower weight classes.
Yep, yeah. No, absolutely. And another thing that I wanted to touch on um, that you said was Arguello. Your comparison to tall fighters, and you're a tall fighter as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you've probably taken a little bit out of some of your favorites and kind of worked on that and kind of molded that into your repertoire. So, like I said, as your career progresses, I look forward to seeing more and more of what you can bring to the table because I know that you have a large array. Me and Mike have had those conversations, but let's take it back to most valuable. So, how's your been so far? Your experiences with Jake Paul?
I mean, everything's been great. I mean, I'm getting paid well. I'm fighting often. I'm fighting soon. I'm waiting for them to announce the date so I can announce as well. I really can't complain. Just great things. That's it.
I was hoping to see you on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson card, man.
And you know what? I asked, and they were like, "I'm sorry, no." It was how what's my record right now? I'm 3-0. Well, I was 2-0 at the time. Remember, who opened up the card was Bruce Carrington. He's already there to fight for a world title next. I think he's fighting for a world title this year. So
yeah, he could well be.
He opened the card, so it just showed like we're not gonna have no prospects. We want contenders and guys like that. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. I asked her, I was like, am I gonna be on the? I asked Amanda, and she was like, no, I don't think so.
That would have been one hell of a platform to get you on, man. That thing, I mean, Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that a movie streaming platform, was going to have a live fight that would be shown in what 60 million homes.
I remember when they told me beforehand, they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be on Netflix." I was like, "What do you mean Netflix? Like Netflix? Like, is it gonna happen?" And then we have to watch it like a week later, like it's like a episode thing, like
Right.
tune into episode 1, and then it's gonna end. And they're like, "No, it's gonna be live." I was like, "How's that gonna work?" It did his magic.
It's insane, man. I think we were doing a live fight chat for that on the Boxing Voice, and it crashed. There were just so many people.
It
Yeah,
was for me too. I was in the airport too because I had a modeling gig, so I was in LA because I was gonna go to the fight, and then they called me. They were like, "Oh, we have a gig for you," and I was just like, "Yeah, I got to make some money, you know." So I went and did the gig, and I'm at the airport, and it worked well for me. And everybody was talking about streaming, and it worked well for me.
dude, we were having
It's
issues.
like the world stopped because everybody was like this in the airport watching the fight.
They broke Netflix, man. I
Everybody
mean,
was watching the fight in the airport.
we
I'm in
were
the
watching.
airport and everybody has the head down. I'm like, everybody's watching the fight, and I'm walking by people, and it's the fight.
Listen, I think there were reports that for Amanda's fight, there were almost 50. There were about 50 million households in tune for that. That was the co-main event, and that one did not disappoint, man.
I heard him. I'm from New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Brooklyn. I didn't. I was hearing about the Amanda fight for a whole week after it was over. Everybody was pissed over here.
Shout out to Amanda, man. I gotta be honest, man. This is no disrespect to Katie Taylor, man, but she was
Oh yeah, Katie's a hell of a fighter. She's a
yeah,
great
but
fighter.
absolutely. I love Katie Taylor, but Amanda, she's my girl. And I'm not saying that because, I'm a big fan, but I believe that she won that fight.
Yeah,
Um,
I personally do too. No disrespect to Katie. I think Katie's a great fighter. You know what I mean? I just have an opinion that, you know, I
yeah,
think I feel for sure Amanda won the fight, but shout out to Katie. Hopefully they make it again, which I'm sure they will do it again. A trilogy, why not? And hopefully I'm on the card, right? That'd be even better.
that'd be even
Yeah,
better,
that'd be
man.
even
But
better.
shout out to Jake. Like I said,
Yeah,
man,
shout out to Jake.
he's doing his thing and he's putting other people on as well. I mean, the production, it all looked good on Netflix. I mean, it was, I had no complaints about it. Obviously, the main event was what it was. But I went in with a certain level of expectation. So I can't sit there and tell you I was disappointed. It was what
Yeah.
it was. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was, and it was enjoyable. But he
It
just
was cool.
announced,
It was fun to watch. It
yeah,
was
it's entertainment, right?
it was
You
insane.
know,
Yeah, I liked that. It was good to see Mike back in the ring. I mean, remember, I've never got to really watch Mike in the ring. When
okay,
did Mike retire? 2005? 2005?
yeah, with something along the lines early 2000s.
I wasn't really watching boxing. I remember my dad playing Fight Night 2004, but other than that, it was just I never seen Mike in the ring. Even when he fought Roy Jones, that was great because I'd never seen Roy Jones actually fight in the ring, other than the fights online and stuff. But
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I forget who I'm talking to, man. Like I said, I'm much older.
yeah, I'm a baby.
Yeah, man, you got your whole career, your whole life ahead of you, man. But so is there a preliminary plan? Like, what's the plan? I know you fought 3 times in
Mhm.
2024. What's the goal in 2024? They're gonna get you as many fights? Are you looking to stay busy? Or are you looking just to
I'm
get on
looking
that
to stay
card?
busy. I'm looking to stay busy. I know they told me they're gonna have me busy this year, so I'm just, I have to take every fight at a time. Make sure there's no injuries. One, make sure everything goes smooth, and just take one fight at a time. One fight at a time. I don't like, oh, you're fighting 7 times this year, and it's like, what if somebody gets hurt? What if I get cut? It's certain things. So I don't like to put what is it called? Expectation. I don't like to expect anything. I just one fight at a time. You guys let me know when to fight and I'll be ready.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think Jake just put out something in social media. Is he fighting Logan Paul, his brother?
I guess he is. Honestly, I don't know.
What the hell is that
Maybe
all about?
I believe they are. I think you know why I'm a little surprised because it's not like, oh, I'm MVP. I know all that they're doing. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
I don't want. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to ask you
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But I'm
I
like,
don't know. And I'm like, I never thought Jake versus Lo. It never popped up in my head. So when they posted, I was like, oh snap, they fighting. I was like, wow, yeah, they're fighting. I guess March. They said March 27th.
and I think on HBO Max. I saw something that
I'm
said
on the card too, right?
well, that's what I want to tell you, man.
Too, you know?
I think there's an opportunity to get you on that undercard.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm in shape. I'm ready. So
You ready to go?
yeah, I'm ready.
What do you usually walk around at when you're not fighting?
I'm not a big guy. I'm a big guy, but I'm not a big guy.
No, you're a big guy. You're a tall guy. You know, you're a middleweight, man. So you're not a small guy in boxing, especially in the
I
boxing.
walk around a decent size.
Okay.
I can't give you the weight, but I walk around a decent size.
I got you.
Because people hear the weight, they get scared, or they get too, I don't know, I walk around a decent size, but I make 160 without a problem.
Okay. All right. Well,
I could make 54 if I want, but I'm not gonna. I don't know if I feel good at 54, so I won't even. If I really want to make 50, I can't make 54. Yeah, no, I can't.
Listen, I think 60 is a good weight for you. I mean, you fill out well, and you're also very, very chiseled.
I make it comfortably. I'm not killing myself. No. If I was killing myself, I'll move up. I'm not one of those guys I'm not scared of the smoke. So if I got to move up, I got to move up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We got a question from Liz Rosado. What would you do if you weren't a boxer?
I mean, I've been boxing since I was 8 years old. So like, if it was to end right now, or like, because if it was to end right now, I'll probably go back to school.
Okay.
But if I wasn't, I don't know. I don't know.
Liz, he stumped you.
Hey, you stumped me on that one because there's so many routes I could have took. There's so many routes I could take. I could either go to school, fall in the streets. There's a lot of routes that I could have took, So I don't know. That's a good question, though. I never thought of it. Like, what would I? Because it was like, I'm not gonna live like fantasizing what would have and could have and should have happened,
Yeah, no doubt. No, absolutely no doubt.
I know a lot of fighters. I would have been dead. I would have been in jail or dead. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Nah, I don't think your mom would allow that.
No, my mom. But there was a lot of things going on within, I don't want to get too in, but within, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to mature and grow up a lot. You learn from what you see. So that's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Superwoman is in the building. Thanks for representing and joining us. Yep, the Can Man, man.
Anybody can't get it.
The Can Man. Anybody can get it. Yes, Broner was a character for sure. Broner is definitely the opposite.
That's why people get surprised. That's why people are surprised when I tell them that Adrian Broner was one of my favorite fighters. Because I tried to force myself to be that, like, oh yeah, but I was just like, this isn't me at all. It was never me.
Nah, it doesn't.
I think a lot of fighters, when they do act like Adrian Broner, I don't think that's them. I think it's a front.
It could be. Yeah, no, it could be. I mean, guys want to market themselves.
Yeah. I think that some guys do it too much.
But I'll tell you one thing. There's one guy who I don't think is faking it at all. And I had him on yesterday with me, Tito Mercado.
I'm not very familiar with him, but I've just heard he just knocked out Pedraza.
He knocked out Pedraza. He's called.
I didn't see the fight. I didn't see the fight. I missed it.
So check out my interview. I did an interview.
I'll check it out.
And
he's at 140, 135.
140. He fights at 140 right now, but he wants
a lot of smoke at 140. There's a lot of smoke at 140. Yeah.
And we literally went through almost the entire division, plus Shakur, plus Keyshawn, plus Tank. I mean, there's nobody that he doesn't want. Yeah. And he can fight. He can fight, man. He's also one of my favorites. So make sure you check that out. And for my viewers,
did he win a belt or anything?
No, he's just 17-0 with 16 knockouts.
Okay, so he can punch.
Yeah, he's 23 years old. I mean, he's young. I mean, but
23. Nice.
Yeah. No, the future's bright. He had a really, really decorated amateur career. I mean, almost 300 fights.
Yeah, I never heard of Tito Mercado.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's definitely. He's from California, from Pomona, California.
Oh, okay. Region 8.
Mm-hmm. Definitely check him out, man. He's exciting. TBV, absolutely in the building. They are my family. Obviously, for my viewers, Nestor Gibbs allows me to co-host occasionally on the Boxing Voice panel. So, I'm getting some exposure there. So, like I said, I owe Nestor a lot. He's definitely my mentor in this podcasting game. Broner is Midwest Mafia. We got my man Toledo Treese in that building. Boxing Voice's very own. Are you going to campaign at 160? And who do you think can be your future money fight?
Yeah, I plan on staying at 160 for a while. Eventually, later down the line, move up. But I feel I'll be winning, God willing, we'll be winning a world title at 160. I don't know because I don't really know any guys at 160.
Well, that division is kind of starving.
I don't.
It's kind of starving for someone to kind of take
Yeah,
over.
yeah. I know they have Johnny Beck.
You got, yep.
But he's gonna. By the time I'm there, he's gonna be on his way out. I know that for sure.
So right now you got Johnny Beck, you got Adames, you got Erzlandi Lara, you got Hamza Shari.
Laura's is gonna be out by the time I'm there. I mean, whoever's at 160 and who has a belt. I mean, if our negotiation, everything is right, we can do it.
No, absolutely, man.
Whoever's there,
Absolutely.
I don't know because there could be a guy in Russia somewhere who nobody knows about right now. Just like how GGG came up, he just came out of nowhere. It was like, whoa, who's this guy? I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a division that's really, really starving for someone to kind of
Yeah.
take over as the big name in that
Maybe if the
division.
guys move up from 54, 154, the guys at 154, but.
Well, you got a good fight coming up between Carlos Adames, who is a WBC strap, and Hamza Shiraz.
Yes.
That's
I'm not
a
familiar
fire fight.
with Hamza Shiraz too much, but I watched this fight when he fought Emil Williams, and he
Right.
impressed me. He really
Yeah,
impressed
he's good. He's a skillful fighter. That's gonna be a good fight.
me. Yeah. How old is he? How old is
He's a young guy. I don't know exactly his age, but he's another young guy.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of young talent there. Again, I think that with more work, you're going to be able to, to slide in.
Whoever has the belts, and even if we gotta fight, we gotta fight.
Shit, man.
I don't call dudes out. I don't do this. Yo, let's fight. I've never been that kind of. Even in the amateurs, I've never been that kind of dude. It was always, yo, I want to fight. You want to fight me? All right, we could do it. I've never reached out to fight anybody. I've never done that. It's not my personality. If I do, it's gonna be Amanda reaching out to the person. I would like to fight. Boom. All right, cool. Let me talk to their manager. That's it.
Nah, for sure, man. Alexis is a great choice. One of your favorites. Broner was a surprise. I think it was a surprise to everybody. That Broner Maidana fight is one of my faves ever.
Yeah,
I haven't been watching boxing too long. So Liz Rosado is actually my wife as well. She's a supporter. Okay. Yeah. She's how old is he? 24. I believe you're 24. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go. All right. We're on top of it. The chat is on top of it. Did you start training camp already for your next fight?
I'm in the middle of training camp right now. I'm just waiting for them to let me know when I know the date, but I don't know what's going on with anything right now. I'm waiting for them to let me know when I can drop the information for the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe when they drop that information.
Yeah. But it's very soon.
Very, very good. Very good. I'm looking forward to it. You got my man Ryan Frazier from Boxing Talk up north. What's going on, my brother? Salute to the Hangout spot. We in the building. Absolutely, man. And if you guys have not checked out my brother Ryan from Boxing Talk off north, he's doing it up in Canada. Make sure y'all check him out in the chat, man. He's doing it up. Subscribe to his channel as well, man. Show him love. We all family, man. How tall is he? About 6'3", 6'4"?
6'2", 6'3".
6'2", 6'3". Yeah, I know we took a picture.
6'2" and a half-ish, something like that.
I know we took a nice picture after your first pro fight, and you were towering over me. You look like a midget. Yeah, there we go. Empowering Mentality Podcast, man. He's all over it, bro.
Yeah.
He's a true fan, man. TBV, absolutely. We got RJ Fernandez in the building, brother. TBV. Midwest Mafia is in the building. Troy Isley is also a good
one. Troy's a great fighter. Troy's a great fighter. I was with him in the amateurs. Troy's a great fighter.
So again, man, there's talent there. What lacks right now is those star names, right?
Yeah, and also everybody's still up and coming.
Right. And you got a lot of young talent. Right. You got a lot of young talent.
Are we all just gonna start fighting now? I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think
fight. I mean, if you want to fight and it makes sense, let's do it. But does it make sense for us to, I want to fight such and such? Like, me and you are both up and coming, like, why am I even calling you out yet?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Get them likes up. That's right. If you have not hit that like button, smash that like button, man. We got to get this channel out to the algorithm of other boxing fans so they know we're rocking out every Tuesdays, Thursdays, today, Wednesday. We may do 3 shows a week depending on our special guests, and we are happy to have Alexis Chop Chop Chaparro, who's a middleweight prospect who's 3-0 with 3 knockouts. He fights under Most Valuable Promotions. Jake Paul, Amanda Serrano, the great Amanda Serrano, is his manager. Shout out to Amanda Serrano, what she's doing in her career and what she's doing for you, John Paul. And Crystal Rosado, like I said, she's got 3 future champions, in my opinion, under her stable. So I think the sky's the limit. But let's talk a little bit about, before I let you go, there's a couple of things that I want to touch on. You mentioned modeling.
Yeah.
So one of my questions was, what do you do when you're not boxing, outside of boxing? So talk to me a little bit about the modeling career.
Yeah. Well, I started modeling 6 years ago now. So I was
Okay.
still fighting as an amateur. And then I was doing my modeling work when I wasn't fighting. And so now when I'm not getting ready for a fight, or if I'm not getting ready for a fight or fighting, I'm doing my modeling work. Whatever work my agents come up with, they'll contact me. We'll talk and work with all the big brands there is.
So what type of modeling do you do? 'Cause I follow you.
Runway,
I want my viewers to get a perspective.
Yeah, runway, magazines, fragrances. I mean, I've done it all, and I'm still doing a lot of the stuff I'm doing. So,
That's
but a
what's
lot of it's more like I've been modeling and stuff, but it's kind of slowed down just a bit because I'm really focused on boxing.
But how did that come about?
Just happened. They reached out to me on Instagram, and I was like, okay, we could meet up and discuss it. And after I signed the contract, 3 days later, I was in Italy doing a runway show for Versace.
Wow! Shout
There's
out.
also I also met I believe he's in the UFC right now. His name is I forgot his name. Israel. I forgot his name, whatever. But we were there and we were talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to go to the UFC." And I'm like, "Oh, I want to be a professional boxer." And now he's in the UFC, and now I'm a professional boxer. So it's great to see.
Is Izzy what's his
No,
last name?
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now.
So you guys met years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, so I thought that was interesting because you actually told me about that you do modeling on the side, and you're a tall guy, you're a good looking guy. I guess it makes sense, but can that be more challenging, man? Like preparing for a photo shoot or something, could that be more? I don't think it'd be more challenging than a fight.
No.
But I mean, that's gotta be
It
nerve-wracking.
depends. It's hard work.
That's what I'm trying to
Really
tell you.
hard.
What I'm trying to say is it's not easy either.
No, it's not. It's actually helped my boxing. It's
Really?
actually helped my boxing because remember, you're standing in front of a camera for 6, 7 hours. You have to learn how to act like you want to be there.
Okay.
Even when I'm uncomfortable in the ring, I have to act like I'm not.
That's a
And
good
it's also mental endurance because when you're at a family gathering and grandma wants to always take pictures. Grandma wants to take pictures. You're like, all right, grandma, I'm done. It's been 10 minutes. I've been taking pictures for 10 minutes. Now you're there for 6, 7, 8 hours. You have to have someone do your makeup. You're sitting there waiting. It's a mental game. It's all mental. That's why a lot of actors and whatever they do, they they do other things, alcohol, drugs, because it's hard to deal with mentally because you also feel like a prop sometimes, like a prop.
Right.
But you're getting paid, so
Shout out to you, man. So you're gonna continue to do that, like, because it looks like
as much as I can, as long as the money's right one, and I don't have to do nothing crazy. So
I think we all kind of know what that means.
yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Adesanya?
No.
It wasn't Israel Adesanya?
No,
That's who I thought it was.
I'm probably not even getting his name right.
Okay.
He's young though. He's from Dagestan. No, he's not from Dagestan. He's Russian for sure.
Okay.
He's Russian for sure.
I got you.
I think something like that.
Bang Bang Boogie,
Yeah,
model
let's do a plus
keeping your
size
shape
model.
unless you're doing plus size modeling.
Yeah. So I will always on top of how my body looked because of that as well.
Right.
I also learned nutrition before turning pro. So I
Because
have no issues with making weight. And I also had help with Elliot Buckling.
Mhm.
He gives me good advice when I need. Elliot, but he works with Javante.
Okay.
He worked with Amanda. So he helps me out a lot.
Nice.
So,
That's what's up, man. I mean, you got it all up here, man.
mm,
At such a young age. Like I said, I can't wait to continue to follow your career to see where it goes, man. I have a feeling I know where it's gonna go. Um, but again, I know that you're gonna put in that hard work and there's no doubt in my mind that the future is extremely bright for you.
I know where it's gonna go. I just like to keep myself grounded.
Absolutely, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Are you do you like boxing when you're not boxing? Like
Yeah, I
what are
love
your
boxing.
hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not training? Like when you're
I'm
just
not
chilling?
training. I'm a devout Christian Catholic, so I'm always in church. I'm always, I'm always out the way. I have family, I have my girlfriend who, one day I would like to pursue, her being my wife eventually.
Good for you, man.
So that's really it. I mean, I'm a simple guy. People, I want to hang out with you. I'm like, no, you don't. I don't do nothing. I'm a simple guy. But
Listen, man, humble is good, man.
yeah,
And one of the things that I took from our first meeting was that you are going to be a really, really good young man who's devoted to your craft. You're going to work hard. Like I said, Mike spoke highly of you that day. He's excited about your future, and I hope my viewers and the boxing fans are just as excited as I am because your star's going to shine bright. All you got to do is stay focused. You're in the right hands.
yeah.
Like I said earlier, last but not least, what do you think about Saturday's fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell? Will you be watching?
I'm excited. I'll be watching. I'll be.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give my opinion on it.
You're not going to give your
No,
opinion on it.
no. The only reason I say I'm not gonna give my opinion is because fighters can be very sensitive.
Who are you telling? Who are you telling, champ?
I don't, and I'm not saying David Benavidez or David Morrell are sensitive. I don't know them from a hole in the wall,
Right.
but I avoid drama at all costs. Unless people want drama with me, then you're gonna get all fired to you. As one thing, I don't start drama and I don't get involved in drama unless people try to get at me. Then
No,
I
I hear
can't
you.
I can't stop. But I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards David Benavidez. I am. I'm just excited. I'm gonna watch as a fan. What I am excited about is Better Beef Bevo 2
Oh, absolutely, man. That's February 22nd, man.
and Shakur.
Shakur against
I'm,
Floyd
I'm a big
Schofield.
Shakur fan. I've known Shakur my whole boxing career. You know, we don't speak, of course, because people move on and different response. You got kids and whatever, but I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Not fan. I support Shakur. So I'm excited with him. I'm excited about if Richardson Hitchens and Teofimo fight. I grew up with Richardson Hitchens. I also know Teofimo, so I'm excited about that. Bruce Carrington, I'm excited about him fighting for his first world title this year. I'm
Brooklyn,
excited
baby.
about that. Bruce is like a brother to me. So many fights that are coming up that I'm so excited about.
The future's bright, man.
One of my favorite fighters right now is Bruce Carrington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm trying to get Bruce on here
Oh,
one day as well
he'll definitely do it too.
because I'm definitely a fan of his and his future is extremely bright as well. But champ, this was absolutely amazing, man.
Thank you, bro.
Let my viewers know where they can find you on social media. I know you're not a big social media guy, but
I'm
you know,
gonna be more on. I have to be more on. I have to be more on.
I think it's a good idea.
Fans, to get the fans more. I'll be posting a lot more, definitely. My Instagram is the real THEREAL _ chop CHOP. And that's all and X, but X I'm barely. I have to start going to X. I heard I've been getting like notifications, but I don't open it. I believe it's I'll tell you right now, my X. Twitter, aka Twitter,
Yep.
is the real Chop Chop. No underscore, just the real Chop Chop. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Nah, if I had to give you any advice, absolutely you want to market yourself on
Yeah,
social
yeah,
media.
yeah, yeah,
At
yeah.
the end of
You
the
know what
day.
it is? I always said if I market myself, it's gonna be me winning in dominant fashion. What better way? But I do have to work on that, influencer kind of, which is out of my league because I'm very private and very quiet. I can entertain because clearly I've done it with the modeling, one of the top models, so I can do it. It's just, you know,
I get it.
I
I
don't
get
want I don't want to have to, hear it because I can't promise who I'm gonna become if I hear too much of it.
it. You'll be all right, man. You got your head screwed on right. Anything that I can do to help, obviously share your content.
Thank
I
you.
will definitely do that. I'm always going to be in your corner. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm a day one, and hopefully one day we could talk about that title and say, remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
after that
100%,
first
right?
interview? Remember after that first interview at Caribbean Royale? Look at how far
Yeah.
we've come. Only a matter of time, champ.
Like I said, I did my first interview with you. I needed to start my first sit down interview with you. So for sure.
Appreciate you, champ. But listen, man, I'm gonna let you go. Like I said earlier, once you come here, you are family. So you are welcome back anytime. You got my number. We're gonna stay in touch.
Yes, for sure.
And keep me posted, on that next fight date. If
I
anything,
got you. Yeah. I think they'll be dropping soon. Oh, there's my girl right here. I think they'll be dropping soon. I'm just waiting on them really.
yeah, man. If you want to jump on here, we want to talk about your next
Yeah,
fight. We
yeah,
can
yeah,
do that, brother.
100%. We'll do that. We'll do that.
All right, doors open. Doors always open, man. I
Ronnie, I
appreciate you, champ.
appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you too, man.
All right, man.
All right, later, man. So there you have it, man. My man. I mean, up and coming, young middleweight prospect, ton of potential. Alexis Chop Chop Chaparro. I was there, like I said, in this at Caribbean Royale at his pro debut, and he was so excited, like he said earlier, that he told me he was born in Aguadilla. Meanwhile, his dad was born in Aguadilla. He was born in Brooklyn, raised in Ridgewood, Queens, which is walking distance from me, where I grew up. I grew up in Bushwick, Brooklyn, so I grew up where Amanda Serrano grew up at. So she's a big idol of the Bushwick community, of the Puerto Rican community. So I just want to give her a shout out as well. I'm a huge fan of hers. Hopefully, I could get her on here one day. But I definitely support her. I support her fighters. John Paul Rivera, again, another undefeated featherweight from Puerto Rico. John Paul Rivera, he's going to be a superstar, I think, and a future champion at featherweight. Crystal Rosado, who is 5-0 in bantamweight in the women's division, she's going to be a beast as well. I think Amanda has a really good stable, a trio of young fighters fighting under, a great platform. I mean, MVP Jake Paul. You saw what Chop said about Jake Paul and some of the opportunities, that he's created not just for Amanda but for him. And he had some other options on where he could have signed in, but I think he made the right call. Like I said, Jake is doing it up. I mean, whether you like him or not, you can't deny what he's doing for the sport of boxing, and he does take the sport of boxing serious. He's training, he's living in Puerto Rico, he's living the life of a fighter. And now I believe, again, I saw something on social media that he may be fighting his brother on HBO Max. That's crazy. Again, another movie streaming platform where he's going to have a live fight. Yeah, and more than likely for free, like it was on Netflix. And we saw the success that the Jake Paul Mike Tyson card was with God knows how many millions and millions of homes, that tuned in to watch that. So it's entertainment. And anytime you got somebody that is putting eyes on the sport of boxing and helping the sport grow, they're good for boxing. So I'll keep that same energy when it comes to the sport that I love, because I just want to see this sport grow. And last but not least, again, he's young, but his future's bright. And he's in a division right now that is realistically starving for someone to take over as that face of the middleweight division. He's still young, and there's a lot of young fighters, but I think that the middleweight division is going to be, extremely, it's going to get better. It's going to get better as the year progresses, man. So, man, I'm glad that I had Chop Chop. I was grateful, like I said, to interview him right after his first pro victory. And you saw, he said, I mean, to come on the Hangout spot and give me that first interview, was it meant a lot to me. It really meant a lot to me. So I just want to shout out to my man Chop Chop. Keep your options open for future opportunities. Yeah, he's a good young man. He's a great young man with a bright future and a good head on his shoulders. I think he will be fine, and he's in good hands. I know Coach Mike and the people in his corner as well. I mean, they're focused on trying to create a champion there. So another good interview. Thank you, man. Thank you to my brother Wax. Thank you for rocking out with me, man. Hopefully Big Bang Boogie. Hopefully we can see both Shakur and Austin embrace their Latino side with having their respective flags on their trunk. Hopefully, man. I know Shakur, man. I hope he reps the Puerto Rican flag and Floyd Schofield the Dominican flag. I think it's gonna be dope, man. I love when fighters do that. I love when fighters. Chop Chop does that. Chop Chop puts puts a Puerto Rican flag on the side of his trunks. I love it. If I was a fighter, it'd be a staple on my gear. That's for sure, man. Yeah, Serrano, that would be great. I mean, she's one of my favorites, man. Hopefully, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. But either way, I appreciate her and what she's doing for the sport as well. Yeah, Jake versus Logan is crazy. I'm still having a hard time trying to believe that. I don't know. I think I saw something about it, some kind of a press conference or something tomorrow. We'll see, man. We'll talk a little bit about it. If it does happen to happen and go down. Matias has a fight date. Can we get him on for an interview? I don't know. Let's see. Listen, we're trying to reach for the stars in 2025 here at the Hangout spot, man. And I can't do it without my viewers, man. We got to spread the word. We got to get more subscribers. If we want to turn this train into a locomotive, we need more subscribers. So definitely tell a friend, man. When you get the more subscribers, you get the bigger names, the street cred. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. We're trying to reach for the stars. I'm putting in the work out in the field when I do these live fight cards, and I'm working media and I'm making contacts and I'm doing live interviews and I'm getting people to commit to come to the show on my lives for my fans, man. But we got to take it up a notch, and I'm going to need everybody's help, man. And I know my supporters, man, my followers, man, y'all going to have my back. So keep rocking out with me. Bang Bang Boogie, I appreciate you, man. This is what I like to do. Hopefully you guys enjoy these interviews as much as I do because I love this shit. And it ain't going to stop. It's only going to get better and better as 2025 continues to progress. Now, we weren't supposed to do a show today, but again, Chop Chop, if he comes calling and he wants to jump on, we're going to accommodate, we're going to accommodate the fighters. So we decided to do a Wednesday show. I don't mind working overtime. I don't mind. So tomorrow we're going to go as scheduled, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to break down Saturday's card, man. David Benavidez against David Morrell, the main event, Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, man. It is on. The much anticipated fight that's going to take place at 175. But these guys have been on a collision course since 168. Little disappointed that it didn't happen at 168, but hey, it's happening. And it could be a blessing in disguise, right? Because, as you know, that when guys carry weight, maybe they carry more power. I mean, both these guys are still getting acclimated to 175. They've only fought once, at that weight division. And a lot of people were down on both of their performances. I mean, I thought David Benavidez' performance was fine. I mean, yeah, he didn't knock out, Vodzik, but again, moving up in weight to fight a guy of that caliber. And I thought he basically won 10-2, which to me is a good performance. He showed blistering hand speed. He just didn't knock the guy out. So a lot of people crap on the performance because of that. Now, Morrell, again, he was fighting, Hot Rod. And, I had that fight a little bit closer. I thought that David Morrell was going to look a lot more better in that fight, but again, his skills can't be denied. He's a Cuban, so it's going to be Cuba against Mexico. Both guys are undefeated. I believe there's an interim and another title or something on the line. But we'll get into that tomorrow as well as the undercard because you got Stephen Fulton against Brandon Figueroa. That's a rematch of a fight that took place a couple years ago. A good fight, good scrap. That Stephen Fulton won. But here we go. We fast forward 2 years ago. I would have preferred to see this rematch right after the first one. But hey, if it's anything close, if it delivers anything close to what we saw the first fight, I think you'll get an entertaining phone booth style fight because that's what Brandon Figueroa brings to the table. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. You got Isaac Pitbull Cruz, who's going to be fighting Angel Fierro, another Mexican. So you got Mexico against Mexico. You can never go wrong with two Mexicans going at it. You kind of know what you're going to expect there. You're going to probably expect a firefight, and then you got Jesus Ramos against Jason Rosario. That's two guys that usually fight at 154. I think this fight is going to be at 160 or maybe a catch weight again. I got to check that before tomorrow. So we're going to go over those fights tomorrow. I'll give my predictions. I need the chat to come out because I may be solo dolo tomorrow. And if so, even though I'm going to be solo here in the studio, like last Thursday when I was solo, we was cooking. The chat was cooking. We had people in the chat. They were chiming in. So definitely come out tomorrow and participate in the chat. We're going to have a good time. We got Clarissa Shields, who's also fighting the GOAT. She's fighting on Sunday against Daniel Perkins. Both undefeated. They're fighting for unified heavyweight titles in the women's division. So we'll kind of touch on that as well. So, man, this was an absolute blast. And thank you. Thank you again for rocking out with me, man. We will be back at it tomorrow, 9 p.m. So make sure you join, like, share, subscribe. You already know how we do it up here at the Hangout spot. But as always, I appreciate the love and support. This is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout spot live, and I'll talk to everybody tomorrow.